Hey guys, welcome back to Lake Stevens Auto Detailing. Today I'm on the at the customer location here. We're going to be doing an inside and out detail on a 2020 Ford F-150. The wheel wells and the fender liners are pretty dirty, as well as the lower half of the truck. Upper half's not too bad, but we'll need to get this thing scrubbed up and cleaned up, and we're not doing anything on the truck bed, but the inside of the truck is pretty destroyed. Tons of dirt, debris, mostly lots of dog hair everywhere. So I definitely charged more for that. And then there's just kind of dust and dirt all over. The back door panels were kind of destroyed from the dogs. Just a lot of dirt and dog hair everywhere. So we'll definitely have to spend a little extra attention getting all that scrubbed up. And then the underneath of the rear seats, those were folded up for transporting the dogs, so that will need a lot of attention. They'll be stuck on pretty good. Got some bird poop and just documenting some of the scratches already on the truck. So yeah, the lower half was fairly dirty on the exterior. Just kind of typical. Hadn't been washed in a little while. The wheels were actually not too bad. Not too much of a brake dust buildup, but there were a lot of scratches on the truck, and there's one bad one here. You'll see right there. So anyway, here's the other side, and you can just see there's a lot of dirt and just buildup. It just, that car or the truck hasn't been cleaned. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the guy bought it brand new, and I don't know if it's been cleaned in the last 3 years. I think it's the accumulation of 3 years of junk besides washing it. I don't think anything's been done to the inside. Just from the accumulation of dirt and everything, it doesn't look like it's been maintained, at least in the last couple of years. So we'll get this thing looking great and get it all scrubbed up. Since we're not doing an engine bay detail, we'll start off with the door jambs. Get the door jambs all scrubbed up as best we can with the wheel cleaner, or not wheel cleaner, but the wheel and tire scrub brush, which I kind of used for the fender liner area, but in the wheel arch areas. Get that all pressure washed off, and then we'll move on to the wheels and tires, get those scrubbed up. So these lower door panel jams were pretty dirty, but I was able to kind of pressure wash blast a lot of the grit off, and then just scrub it with soapy water, and that did the trick. There wasn't a bunch of grease or anything that was kind of hard to get off, so I didn't really use any APC or anything like that. It wasn't really needed. It's only a 3-year-old truck, and even though there was quite a bit of dirt accumulation on there, it didn't take a whole lot to get it cleaned up and shined up. So I just like to use the least harsh chemicals for getting the truck cleaned, whether it's the inside or the outside, and there's no sense in wasting a bunch of chemical when you don't need to use it. So we'll get these door jambs cleaned up, and then we'll move on to the wheels and tires. Thankfully, these wheels and tires didn't have a lot of brake dust, didn't have a lot of dirt and debris on there. The wheel arches and kind of the little fender flare things and the wheel liners were pretty filthy. It looked like they had never been cleaned in the 3 years of its life since the truck was brand new. So I always try to pressure wash off what I can. When there's like carpeted liners, it makes it real kind of a pain in the butt getting those blasted out, just because the junk gets stuck inside there, and it's just a pain in the butt. But I try to do the best job I can, and it always looks way better than when I started. So I think customers aren't too picky in that realm, but with a larger vehicle like a truck or an SUV, I try to spend a little extra time. If it's a low profile car and there's not room really to get the pressure washer in there. I don't worry about it too much, but I always do try to do what I can. So I'm using my IK foamer with DIY Detail All Clean, diluted 15:1 to clean the wheels and tires. Does a fine job getting them all scrubbed up. So I use my ultra soft wheel woolly, which I wouldn't hesitate to use on the front grille area if it had some kind of intricate areas that are hard to get into, and a little faster than using a detail brush. But there's kind of some hard to reach areas on the wheel where I will be using my detail brush to get into the nooks and crannies. So we get this wheel as clean as possible, and then we'll get all four wheels and tires, wheel arches and fender liner areas cleaned up, and then we'll move on to just washing the rest of the truck. I have had one customer before kind of pick me apart on the area where I'm scrubbing right now, kind of the bottom of the fender liner. So for all the other trucks that I do, I just try to scrub it as best I can. And then when I'm done, before I do kind of my final walkthrough, I get kind of a damp microfiber cloth and wipe any little dirt that's under in that little area. Just try to get it as clean as possible so I don't have a dissatisfied customer that's maybe questioning, hey, did you wash that? Well, I did, but it's with a soft brush, and when the vehicle's kind of abused and not scrubbed all the time in that area, that stuff gets stuck on there pretty good. So I just do a final kind of microfiber cloth wipe, and that gets any remaining dirt off there, and it makes the truck look pretty good. So yeah, with these carpet liners, they're a real pain in the butt to get all the debris and junk off. As you see, the pressure washer, it does blast it away, but it's kind of impossible to get all of it without spending inordinate amount of time on there. It's just kind of unrealistic to get every little speck off the carpeted liners. But when I'm done, I spend a few minutes on each one, and it just makes them look a heck of a lot better, just blasting off probably 70-80% of the crud that was on there, and it makes it look so much better, especially when it's not all muddy and dirty and stuff. So So is the black truck, but it's kind of a cloudy day. The paint is cool to the touch, so I'll be dry spraying the soap all over the truck, letting that sit for a bit, and then I'll be rinsing it off. Just trying to get some of the grit and heavy traffic film blasted off and kind of knocked down before I go to the contact wash, and that kind of minimizes any scratching that will occur during the contact wash. So after letting the foamy soap dwell on there for a couple minutes, I'll just uh, do a quick little rinse, and then I'll get back into there with the foam cannon and get in there and start doing my contact wash after I kind of rinsed off some of the dirt and grit and the initial junk off the truck. Here's where I like to apply a nice thick layer of foam all over the entire truck and get any traffic film encapsulated, and then start up there with the contact wash. Now I am about 6'4", but on a full-size truck like this, I definitely need a small step ladder to be able to reach the roof. So move it over to both sides, get about half, and then go over to the other side and wrap things up. Just the vehicles are so tall these days with the bigger wheels and tires and everything, and this one being four-wheel drive, it's up pretty high, so can't quite reach it. If it didn't have a tonneau cover, then I could probably just get there in the back of the truck bed and almost get it all, but I'd rather use a small step ladder than using the running boards, especially when they've got all the slippery wet soap on there. Just kind of a slip hazard. Don't want to be falling on the truck and hurt myself or break a mirror off or something. That would be a awkward conversation with the customer, or obviously don't want to hurt myself either, so let's try to keep myself safe as possible and not damaging the customer's vehicle as well. Get this on the camera for just the sake of time and everything, but the running boards were quite dirty, so I had to scrub and wipe those to get the chrome shining up. It was just kind of dull and didn't really have a nice shine to it, so I had to do some extra scrubbing on the running boards to get those things cleaned up how they should look. So, and when the tonneau cover's all closed up like that, I don't open the tailgate or mess around with the tonneau cover. I don't know if it's working or not, or what the deal is with the cover, so unless the customer specifically asked to have the inside of the truck bed cleaned when they have a tonneau cover like that, I just don't mess with it and I leave it alone. I'll scrub the top of it, but I'm not going to clean the inside. If they fold back the tonneau cover, sure, I'll clean the inside, but that would be a discussion to have with the customer if they want to have that done or not. You guys might be wondering why I'm filming it for a third time. This is just to provide lubrication for my clay bar process, which is the Rag Company fine grade perforated synthetic decontamination towel. Just I don't want to scratch the paint or anything, and so I just put on a layer of foam on there, and then I dunk the clay mitt intermittently and wash bucket just to keep it nice and saturated and lubricated, and go over the whole vehicle and get it all clayed up and looking nice, getting ready to accept the wax protection on there, and this thing will be shining in no time at all. I do have links to a lot of the products that I use, and for my detailing business, they're in the video description and below if you're interested in purchasing them. They're got a bunch of Amazon affiliate links, so go ahead and feel free to check that out if you'd like. I got a couple options for the ceramic wax protection. I've got the turtle wax, and it's a drying aid, so that helps apply paint protection to the vehicle, and helps dry off the vehicle a little easier. So I use that, and then I also got DIY Detail ceramic gloss, which is another paint protection, and it's also works as a drying aid. So basically, I'll use one of those two. I used to use the Meguiar's Carnauba wax, but it's hard to apply in the sun. It gets too hot, and then you have problems with it not buffing off, and it just takes so much longer to apply that Carnauba wax. It's not really time efficient for my purposes, and I mean, if the customer wants to pay extra, then yeah, I would do it, but I don't do those for cars anymore, just because it takes like 45 minutes. When I could just shake up and spray the bottle, I could get that applied and done in under 5 minutes, so it doesn't make sense to do that. Here's the start of the interior dog hair battle. The dog hair was in every little orifice of the vehicle, just clogging up the carpeting, the floor mats. Every little nook and cranny was just covered in dog hair, so I had quite the battle ahead of me. I'm just pulling out a bunch of junk that was stuck under the seats, so I can properly vacuum and not have issues. And once we get the floor mat kind of just a quick preliminary vacuum, I'll yank that sucker out, and then we'll tend to the rest of the carpeting. I really do like those all-weather mats in the back. This thing's just massive. It's kind of unwieldy to pull out, but I just kind of fold it like a hot dog, and it comes out fairly easy. So you can see there's quite a bit of hair everywhere, and we got quite a bit ahead of us till we get it all removed, but we'll get it one area at a time. As you can see, there's not one area where the vehicle was spared of dog hair. It's just accumulated in big, thick chunks. It's all over the place. The only saving grace is it's long, kind of loose hair. It's not short, little coarse, like little tiny dog hair. That's worse to pull off. But just having the sheer amount of dog hair, I mean, I don't even know how much hair is in this thing. Tens of thousands of hairs, so just trying to get all that out was quite the battle. But the Ford carpeting, like I said before in other videos, I really do like using it. Just getting it cleaned up and vacuumed, it's not as much a hassle as some of the other brands. So I will give Ford kudos to that. They have a pretty good quality carpet. The back seat underneath, that's kind of thin, and that was a real pain. It probably took me 40 to 45 minutes getting all that embedded dog hair out of there. And I do have a variety of things that I use. I've got a drill brush with the cone attachment. I've got my vacuum, obviously, and then I've got a Meguiar's pet hair kind of rubber comb, and then I got the lily brush. So I use all those in conjunction together to be able to get all the hair removed. As you can see, the vacuum got some of the loose stuff, but there still was quite a bit of hair left, so I had to use the drill brush. And that got a little bit more, but I had to use the pet hair comb and the lily brush, otherwise it would have been impossible to get all that hair out of there, because it just gets rubbed into the fibers and it's a real pain in the butt to get out. So I can see why people hire detailers to get pet hair out, because it's just a pain in the butt to try to get out just using a vacuum. It's impossible. As you can see, that comb brush, it does agitate and work out some of the fibers out, but it also makes quite a bit of mess. But it saves me a lot of scrubbing, so I use the drill brush, get as much as I can out that way, and then I use the Meguiar's pet hair brush and the lily brush to get the remainder. And it takes quite a bit of scrubbing to get those hairs out, so using the drill brush, it saves my joints and stuff from breaking down more, and anything that I can use to help my detailing experience out, I'll definitely try to take advantage of. For pet hair removal, I'm curious, what kind of tools and things do you guys use for getting rid of pet hair? I found the Meguiar's little comb that I've got. It works pretty good. There's also instances where that comb's a little too big. I like to use the lily brush, and the lily brush works pretty darn good getting those hairs out. I'm just curious, comment down below what kind of methods and techniques do you use to get rid of pet hair? I would say this was a fairly challenging detail, just because I'd get an area clean and then I'd look and see so many more areas that needed to be addressed. The F-150 got a bunch of different little center console glove boxes, little storage cubbies, things like that, and just seems like I got a couple areas clean and then I found a few more that needed to be addressed or that I didn't even see. So that was a little disheartening, but in instances where the vehicle's just a total disaster, I just try to focus on one area at a time and kind of make that a little goal, like, okay, I got this area, time to move on to the next one, instead of, oh my gosh, I got the whole truck to do, I'll never get this done. Thinking like that, it's really disheartening and depressing, so I try to stay positive and just tackle one area at a time to make it a little more manageable. Before I started the drill brush, I did spray the P&S Terminator on there and the Carpet Bomber, and then kind of agitated the carpets. And they did pay extra for the shampoo and extract, so that's what I'm doing here, getting all that cleaned up as best I can. I guess the guy left his windows open and started to have a little bit of mold on the carpets and stuff. And so we're going to get that all taken care of, cleaned up, and this thing will be looking and smelling a lot fresher than it was. So we'll get all this squared away, get all the carpets done. It's got leather seats, so we don't need to shampoo and condition those. We'll just scrub those out, and we'll be good to go. Nice thing about this truck, the carpets weren't too dirty, so it wasn't a real pain in the butt getting them shampooed and cleaned. I didn't have to go over it 100 times, so that made the drying process a lot easier. There was a high of like 52 degrees for the day, so I just wanted to make it a priority of not injecting too many liquids into the carpets, because I knew I had to get it all out. I did buy a couple more blowers, so I have 4 blowers now instead of 2, which that's a big help at getting the carpets blown out in a rapid manner. So that worked pretty good. These door panels are kind of annihilated, so we're gonna have to do a lot of scrubbing. There's a lot of dirt and debris stuck into the cracks, like the armrest, in between the armrest and the door panel, and just dirt and debris pretty much everywhere. So we'll have a little fight ahead of ourselves getting everything all cleaned up and wiped out, but we'll just tackle it one area at a time, and we'll conquer it. Going over these door kick plate seal areas multiple times. I ended up having to kind of spray and scrub and use a toothbrush and stuff to get into the seals and cracks, because they hadn't ever been cleaned and they were pretty destroyed. So trying to get in all those little seals and cracks to get the dirt out to make it look as best as possible. Had to go over it multiple times, but that wasn't too much of a problem. The back seats were folded up for the most part. They weren't too dirty. There was a little bit of dog footprints on the back, but overall, not too bad at all. Where there's instances where there's kids and baby seats and stuff, I'm used to seats being in a way worse condition in the back. So this wasn't too bad, honestly. Just around the seat belts, and those little nooks and corners, they needed extra attention because they were actually abnormally dirty in those areas, so I had to pay attention to those spots and get those all scrubbed clean. The dashboard and the front interface buttons for the HVAC and everything, those had a nice little layer of dust on there. So I just went through with my ultra soft detail brush. I think it's called by Detail Dudes. It's super soft. I like using that. Doesn't scratch anything. It's so soft. But go through with the detail brush, get all the little cracks and crevices kind of brush through there, and then wipe the dust that's remaining off everywhere else and get that cleaned. I noticed on some of the vehicles that get kind of used and abused more, the turn signal stock on the side and the headlight switch, if it's on the turn signal stock as well, there gets to be a lot of like hand oils and dead skin stuff, so you gotta like really scrub at that because it gets stuck on there, like kind of where the area I'm scrubbing right now. So just needs a little extra attention, and then it's getting back to new condition. We're getting real close to being done with the truck. We're getting the windows all wiped down and cleaned up. They're pretty smudgy and smeary, so get those cleaned up. That'll help the overall look of the vehicle. You can see this back window is pretty nasty, pretty streaky. We'll get all those windows cleaned up how they should be looking, and we'll get tire shine on there, go through a final vacuum and wipe down for any little spots I might have missed. Like the glove box, I almost missed that, but that's why I do kind of a quality check. I just check over everything, make sure I haven't missed anything, and I don't have any issues. For tire shine, I'm using the Black Magic with the dedicated tire brush to apply the tire shine on there in a timely manner. For the big truck tires, I always use my tire brush. If they're low profile, I'll just use a little microfiber pad. But you can see how badly this thing needed a wash and clay. the black's really popping through, and it hasn't even been polished, it's been clean. So you can really tell a big difference before and after. This thing's looking real nice. The steps are looking clean, tires and wheels looking great, and this thing's really shining up. So here in a minute we'll finish the walkthrough on the outside, and we'll check out, see what it looks like on the inside now that we're done. So all that pet hair is gone, dirt and debris in the door panel is gone. Look at those steps, they're just shining nicely. Door jambs are looking real clean. Seats are looking great. I mean, you can just, yeah, check it out for yourself, see all the hair is gone. So that's what 7 hours of straight work did. This thing's looking sparkling clean. It was a lot of work, pretty sore, but it was well worth all the effort. So the guy was real happy with everything that I got done, and it's looking real nice. So it's up to him to keep up on it or give me a call a little later and have it cleaned up for him again.